What's going on, guys? Marcus Crockett back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about employees versus subcontractors. If you're new, which route should you go? Should you use the employee route or should you use the subcontractor route? We've been in business for a little bit of time, and we're pretty much using subcontractors. We're really subcontractor heavy. But I didn't start this way. I had to build to get to where I'm at, and this is the route that we chose. But I'm actually going to get into why I chose to go that way. With that said, let's get into it. When you decide that you want to hire, and we're talking about hiring an employee, there are things that you definitely need to know, right? First off, after you do your interview and you've come to terms with your potential employee or your prospect, and you guys agree to, we're going to be in this relationship, an owner employee relationship, you're going to give them a W-4. Okay. Now we've all seen them. We've all seen W-4s. If you've ever had a job, we've all filled them out. They're going to give you a W-4. They're going to fill it all out. They're going to give it back. You're going to fill out an I-9. You're going to do your background. You're going to do all of your whole due diligence thing, right? Well, let's stop right there. When you decide that when you find a subcontractor that you want, and you tell them the terms of doing business with you, and they sign contract, you guys sign contracts, you're now in business. So you don't give them W-4s. You don't give them any of that. At the end of the year, right? At the end of the year for the employee, they're going to receive a W-2, right? They get a W-2, they can fill out their taxes. The subcontractor, they're going to get a 1099, and then they're going to fill out the taxes. All throughout the year, each paycheck, whether you choose to pay them weekly, whether you choose to pay them bi-weekly, monthly. I've heard people in cleaning businesses pay their employees on a monthly basis. However you choose to pay them, if they're a W-4 employee, they're going to get their taxes taken out each time they get paid. Whereas a subcontractor, you're going to just pay your subcontractor, and it's up to them to manage their own taxes. So this is the foundational difference. Now, when it comes to the employee, when they start work, you are responsible to make sure that they have everything that they need in order to do the job and do it accurately and as efficiently as possible. So what are some of these things? These things look like your vacuums, your mops, your cleaning solutions, anything that, it would take for them to be able to do the job. As the owner, you're responsible for those things. On the subcontractor side, the subcontractor is responsible. So the way it looks is like this, okay? You're an owner, the subcontractor is an owner, okay? They're the owner of their own business. They just can't get business on their own, or they're in a position where they need a contract because they have so many staff that they don't want to lose, so they need to get them work. This is typically it's either one way or the other. But you're an owner, they're an owner. You guys agree, you shake hands, you agree that this is what we're going to do. We're going to pay you this amount. This is the scope of work that needs to get done. This is the time frame in which it needs to get done. What I mean by time frame is the window of time. I'll touch on that here in a second, but there's a window of time. So once you guys agree on terms, it's up to that owner to either get the work done themselves or give the directions or delegate the directions or the task to everyone underneath them, underneath their chain of command, right? Or who to their workers, and they're probably more than likely they're going to be using employees. So that's how that situation works. They're responsible for all of their own equipment. They're responsible for all of their own supplies. They're responsible to make sure that their staff or whoever is doing their work is as efficient as possible. That's on them. That's their responsibility. Now, typically though, I will say this, typically the subcontractor, it's not a 50-50 split. Depending on we don't do 50-50 splits. Our subcontractors typically make more than we do. And that's like another video for another day. We do volume. We focus on volume, not necessarily so much on, on getting a higher percentage or equal percentage on a specific account than our subcontractors, because they got more stuff to worry about, right? We're more so of a broker. That's the way that situation kind of works. So Back to the employee, being efficient, making sure that they have all of the stuff that they need to get all the work done. Now, you're also responsible for setting up schedules with a W-4 employee. You're responsible for, if they call out sick, you're going to have to replace them with someone else. If they go on vacation, you're going to have to make sure that that slot is filled. You don't have to worry about that stuff when it comes to subcontractors. That's up to them to figure out. You're not their boss. We're partners. We're not, there is no hierarchy. So, you have to take care of those things. When it comes down to scheduling, you are responsible in the employee side to set up schedules. So, whether they're going to work Monday through Friday, whether they're just going to work weekends, whether they're going to work, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, however it is that you want to set up, however your accounts look like, you're responsible to set those schedules to make sure that you have the proper staff to make sure those things are filled. The subcontractor side, you don't have to do that. You just have to make sure that you guys agree, like, hey, we're going to pay you this amount of money per month. This is when these are the days that it has to get done. These are the window. This is the time frame it has to get done, and leave that up to that owner to make the decision on how he or she chooses to delegate the work, or how they want to do the work. You guys just agree that they're going to be the ones that's responsible for the work. Okay. When it comes to branding, uniforms, you're responsible for those things with the employee. On the subcontractor side, you can't even, they can't wear your stuff because they're not employees of yours. But your employees, you can tell your employees, hey, you're not in uniform, you're out of dress code, get that fixed. That you're responsible for that. You don't have to give them a uniform, but if you are in your business and you're growing your business and you have employees, I highly, highly suggest that you have them wear uniforms, right? It's branding. People may see as they're walking by, and then that's a way that you can get more business, right? So these are like some of the main differences between the two, right? These are some of the main ones. The employee side, you're responsible for everything. The subcontractor side, you're not responsible for nearly as much. So you're more top heavy on the employee side than you are on the subcontractor side. The subcontractor side takes a lot less time to get what I call like mailbox money, right? It takes a lot less time. You can be it takes a lot less time because there's so much is taken off of your shoulders. But with the employee side, you're in control of a lot more. You may be involved a lot more because you're in control of so many more things, but it depends on what you want. Like what's your goal? What are you looking for? What's your end game? What does that look like? So moving on to, if you're new, right? If you're new, which one works better? Which one should you choose? And the truth is this. It really depends on one, what's your past experience look like, and what your future goals are. Because, and I'm going to say this, the course is done. It's done. I'm just waiting on my developer to finish up a few things with the API, but the course is done. Now, when the course is released, when it's out to the general public, I show you both ways on how to get employees, both ways on how to get subcontractors, how to set everything up. But I leave it's up to you to choose which one. You may decide, hey, for the first 6 months, I'm going to do this, then I may do that. It's completely up to you. I'm only saying that to say, I got so much value out of learning, out of going the way that I went, starting off with, subcontractors. I'm sorry, starting off with employees, getting to a point where it's like, okay, I think I want to do this now. I'm going to get to that story here in a minute, but I'm going to deliver you both ways. I'm going to show you exactly how to do both ways, and it's up to you. But I'll say that there's a lot of value. You really learn the business by having employees, by making corrections, learning as you go. That's how you really learn the business. I was doing a walkthrough yesterday, literally yesterday. And in this walkthrough, there was it was a medical building, a medical office. Now I'm going to say this because I don't want to get too far off the track. I'm going to say this, that typically when you go, I would probably say 60 to 70% of the time, when you go do a walkthrough for a medical building or for a dental office or for podiatrist or something like that, that's all medical. Like when you're in those spaces, I almost want to say 9 times out of 10, but it's probably like 60, 70% of the time. The person that you're meeting with is very close to the owner. That's either the owner's, typically in my experience, it's been the owner's wife or long-term girlfriend who I'm meeting with, right? So that person really has, and essentially the last say. The doctors, they're too busy doing doctor shit. Like they're seeing patients and doing all that. So the person that you're meeting with, they're really going to have the last say. They're the one that's closest to the doctor. They're going to be in the ear. They're going to be the one to get the doctor to sign to sign the signature. So what's my point in telling you that? So I go to this walkthrough yesterday and I meet with the point of contact. She's the operations manager. At the time, I just like, okay, well, she's the operations manager. As we're going through this account, and I'm looking around, and there's one thing that really stood out to me. Like all of the equipment in there, like the desks, the exam tables, they're all super old. Like they're antiques. So we're looking, and she's showing me everything, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm saying I've never seen a table that looks like this. Now, as I'm saying this, the doctor, he's in earshot, right? But I haven't met him yet. She hasn't introduced me. I'm like, this is really, this is unique. I've never seen this. It's like, oh, really? So you guys have, medical buildings? Yeah, we have medical buildings. We have medical buildings, and there's, here, 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 here. I'm strategically telling her all these places that we have. And, and she goes on to say, yeah, these desks are really old. They're not like the stainless steel stuff. And then I go further into, it's cool that it's not like the stainless steel stuff, because sometimes with stainless steel, you have to da 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 da. And I'm telling her this stuff, and she's smiling now. She's agreeing. We've probably only been in the account for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. We just got there, but already I won her over. But again, the point of me saying this is, if I was brand new and I just got into the industry and I'm going to go the subcontractor route, right? I'm looking just to get mailbox money right away. I wouldn't be able to connect with her that fast because I don't have the experience yet. I haven't done enough. I haven't had enough customer interaction, enough face-to-face time with potential clients to even be able to open a door for this conversation. Long story short, we finished the walkthrough, and we got down to what the current budget is. I told her, I'm like, listen, we're going to be more expensive than that. And what she said was, you know what? I know you are, but I trust you. She trusts me because I was able to deliver her enough information to let her know that, like, I've done this before. We have experience. Like, if you come with us, you're going to be in good hands. I was able to deliver her that, just being confident in what I was saying. I'm only able to get to this point, honestly, because I had to go through the trials and the tribulations with my employees. My whole point, my whole purpose of this whole YouTube everything, like, really is to cut the learning curve down as small as possible. That's what I want to do for people coming in. I want to shrink that learning curve as quickly as possible so that they don't have to go through all the things. But this is hella long-winded, but yeah, there's value. There's so much value in going this route. It's harder. I'm not gonna lie, it is harder. There's more things that you're gonna have to deal with. There's more hangups. There's more stuff that you're gonna have to do. And if you choose to go this way, you don't have to stay this way, right? You don't have to stay this way. You can make changes. Say, okay, I'm gonna do this for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever, and figure out what you like, what you don't like. Take that and then apply it to the subcontractor side. So this is the subcontractor side. This is where we are right now. Okay, how I got here. This is how I got here. No joke. I'm gonna tell you the 100% truth. So a couple years ago, I'm coming home. I don't know where I was. I might have been coming home from a walkthrough or something. I don't remember, but I'm coming home and I'm just feeling sick. I'm feeling sick. I get home and I just fall asleep. I'm out. It's uncharacteristic of me to just fall asleep and be asleep all day. So my kids are kind of like getting worried about me. So they come in. Well, my daughter comes in. My son's playing video games. My daughter comes in and she's talking to me, but I'm like real weak. It's like, Dad, I'm gonna bring you some water. You don't sound good. So she brings me some water and she takes my temperature, and I got a fever. My wife's not home. I got a fever, and she calls my wife. I fall back asleep, and she calls my wife. She tells her, I'm scared. Dad has a fever. Da da da. Right. So my wife comes home, and my wife, she gets me like some stuff, and I feel a little bit better. But now my wife starts getting sick. My wife's getting sick. I'm like, damn, do we got the Rona? So we get the test, take the test, negative on the test, nothing, right? Make a long story less long. As we're both now laying in the bed sick, we're getting phone calls back to back to back. Every time someone's telling us, hey, I got Rona, I got the Rona, or I've been exposed. So we get in these calls, right? And we've been testing. So it's like, damn, like, and everyone is calling us. These are all our employees. We don't have subcontractors yet. These are our employees. They're calling. So they're calling. I'm like, damn, I haven't done an account in so long. I got to go do these accounts because the regular workers are sick. The backup employees are sick. The managers, like, everyone is sick. Everyone's getting hit at the same time. So it's like, okay, well, I got to go do this. So me and my wife, we go out, we do it, come home barely. We just super crazy sick. Next day, same thing. Take a test, negative on the test. It got to the point where so many people were calling out, like, I remember, like, my wife laying on the bed, and at this point, like, we're both dehydrated, and we know this mountain of work that we gonna have to get done. And I go get us some water, and I come back, I hear the phone ring, my wife's laying on the bed, and she looks at the phone, and I'm just like, damn. She answers the phone, okay, hangs up, and she wants to cry, but she can't even cry. She's too weak to cry. Before she says anything, like, I'm looking at her. I got that look on my face like Samuel L. Jackson in Black Snake Moan. I'm just staring like, you better not say somebody else called in. So she tells me, like, boom, someone else called in. Now I'm looking, and I'm just like, fuck, okay, we got to figure this out. So immediately I'm less like, we're going to take another test. Still, we're coming back negative. And we get it done. And it was one of the hardest things that I had to do was get that done. But by the time I get home, I'm laying on my bed, I'm a shower, I'm laying on my bed. And it comes to me like, what if, I spent so much time and effort in putting into building up this business from nothing. It didn't exist, right? I built up this business from nothing. We built it up. And what if something happens to one of us to where this is like the norm, where it's like, we're going to be in a situation where if one of us is not here, then the business is not going to run smoothly, right? Because at this time, like, we're all hands on, right? I said, I have to figure out a better way. So I'm laying on my bed, and in my sickness, I'm like, the subcontractor route is going to work. I don't know how it's going to work. So I'm putting everything together in my head. I'm putting it all together. I'm figuring out, this is me sick, right? I still got a fever. I'm putting it together. I'm putting the contracts. I'm thinking about how I can do this, how I can do that. And, after all of that was said and done, I looked at my wife and I told her, I'm like, listen, I said, yes, these last couple of days have been, they've been bad. But everything was good before that. But these were bad. This exposed something in my company that we both needed to see. And I said, like, this will never, ever happen again. I'm working on something right now, and this won't happen again. She's just like, yeah, whatever, da da da. She's sick, right? She ain't really paying me no attention. But I'm telling her, like, this will never happen again. So after, a day or two of figuring everything out, boom, I figured it out. Like, this route is the way I'm going to go. So a day or two after that, my wife's like, hey, can you taste anything? We're both feeling better at this point. It's like, can you taste anything? I was like, nah, you know what? I don't think I can. So then we take a test, and then it shows up as positive, right? So I don't know whether the tests we were getting were bad or whatever it was, but now that I'm feeling better, now it says that, we're positive. So long story short, it was the sickness that exposed something in my company that made me have to change, right? And it's a lot less top heavy. There's our pieces to the puzzle that I was able to take from the W4 side and apply it to the subcontractor side. There are definitely pieces that I was able to take, but I'm only even able to be successful on this side because we had a level of success on this side. And like I said, this is fluid. I don't got to ask no one or check with no one to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna slow down on the subcontractors. I want to get some employees, or I want to get an employee for this particular account or this particular region, right? I don't got to ask no one. I don't got to check no one. I just got to go ahead and turn my marketing on and start bringing in employees, or just keep doing what I'm doing, bringing in subcontractors and doing things that way. So the options are open. I can't tell you for sure like which way is going to work best for you, because I don't know your background. I don't know your sales background. I don't know your experience. But all I'm going to say is like, yo, I really show both ways. And it's completely up to you. And it's going to, when everything opens up, when everything releases, it's going to be a community for people to bounce ideas off of each other. I'm going to be there. You'll have access to me in real time. And you know what I mean? The whole purpose is just to grow and to learn and to build and to expand and to create, stepping stones and legacies and things we can pass on to our kids. Like that's really the whole point. But guys, that was a long video. I didn't expect for it to be that long. But, it is what it is. Sometimes they got to come out. But, guys, that is it for today's video. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators are going to watch hustlers get into the game so they can win. I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.